Oh, hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Michael Boy. I'm here with Read, Remember, Repeat, and we just want to let you guys know, we could be doing something selfish, things for ourselves, right? But we started a charity, and this is very unselfish on our part because what we want to do is give back to the kids, the youth, the orphanage, the homeless, the people that don't have those new ideas because they're stuck in a revolving door. So what we want you guys to do is definitely reach out to us. This is the link right here. Help us save a life. Click the link in bio. Read, remember, repeat.
Yes, y'all. Another episode, Read, Remember, Repeat. It's your host with the most, Michael Boy, and we are back with another Read, Remember, Repeat. If y'all noticing why I got my glasses on, listen, when I was a kid, I couldn't swim with my glasses. I couldn't see under the water. I couldn't even see the whole pool beach. I done lost my parents before, you know what I mean? Not that they lost me, I done lost them. But I figure I'll bring y'all out here to the pool, you know what I mean? And just a different scenery, you know what I mean? Switch it up, you know what I mean? Different vibes. Y'all know what's going on. Let me dry my hands. Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. We on page 79. And Napoleon is a genius, man. What can I say? He took us through an interview with the devil. So listen, man, the workbooks are out, the action planners are out. Get in tune, man. Get with us. You know what I mean? It's like a journal, it's a workbook, an action planner all in one. But let's do it, man. Page 79. Question. I understand your devilish nature. Now let us get back to further discussion of your methods of inducing people to drift to hell here on earth. From your confession, I see that you take charge of children while their minds are young and pliable. Tell me more of how you use parents, teachers, and religious leaders to ensnare people into drifting. One of my favorite tricks is to coordinate the efforts of parents and religious instructors so they work together in helping me to destroy the children's power to think for themselves. I use many religious instructors to undermine the courage and power of independent thought of children by teaching them to fear me, but I use parents to aid the religious leaders in this great work of mine. How do parents help religious leaders destroy their children's power to think for themselves? I never heard of such a monstrosity. I accomplished this through a very clever trick. I caused the parents to teach their children to believe as the parents do in connection with religion, politics, marriage, and other important subjects. In this way, as you can see, when I gain control of the mind of a person, I can easily perpetuate the control by causing the person to help me fasten it upon the minds of his offspring. Question. In what other ways do you use parents to convert children into drifters? I cause children to become drifters by following the example of their parents, most of whom I have already taken over and bound eternally to my cause. In some parts of the world, I gain mastery over children's minds and subdue their willpower in exactly the same way that men break and subdue animals of lower intelligence. It makes no difference to me how a child's will is subdued as long as it fears something. I will enter its mind through that fear and limit the child's power to think immediately. The devil will enter a child's mind through fear and then limit the child's power to think independently. I can remember the many religious leaders I have known in the past and instantly divide them between fear-based instructors and faith-based instructors. In fact, I still get a chill from reliving the fire and brimstone of some of the fear-based sermons I heard as a child. In contrast, I remember the uplifted feeling of hope and courage from the faith-based sermons. Hill's words of wisdom certainly ring true for me. Does fear then paralyze independent thought? Wow. Question. It seems that you go out of your way to keep people from thinking. Yes, accurate thought is deaf to me. I cannot exist in the minds of those who think accurately. I do not mind people thinking as long as they think in terms of fear, discouragement, hopelessness, and destructiveness. When they begin to think in constructive terms of faith, courage, hope, and definiteness of purpose, they immediately become allies of my opposition and are therefore lost to me. Question. I am beginning to understand how you gain control of the minds of children through the help of their parents and religious instructors, but I do not see how the school teachers help you in this damnable work. School teachers help me gain control of the minds of children, not so much by what they teach the children as because of what they do not teach them. The entire public school system is so administered that it helps my cause by teaching children almost everything except how to use their own minds and think independently. I live in fear that someday some courageous person will reverse the present system of school teaching and deal my cause a death blow by allowing the students to become the instructors, using those who now serve as teachers only as guides to help the children establish ways and means of developing their own minds from within. When that time comes, the school teachers will no longer belong to my staff. Okay. Here is the essence of Hill's critique of public education, written in 1938. Do you agree with him? Think of young children during kindergarten and first grade. They are enthusiastic and volunteer for everything, raising their hands and excited to learn. Now fast forward 10 years and think about those same children as high school students, the ones sitting in the back of the class, never making eye contact with adults, and absolutely never volunteering or asking a question that they disengage from the learning process. What happened to these children? 10 years of schooling. They perceive that to make an error will subject them to ridicule and scorn. So they cease to participate in order to protect themselves. They are taught that the solutions to all problems and conflicts lie not in their own hands and minds, but in the hands and minds of the teacher, the representative of the authorities. To act independently in the face of conflict brings swift rebuke and reprisals from the teacher. The children are thus discouraged from independent thought and indoctrined with the concept that they are incapable of resolving their own problems. While there are many excellent teachers, Hill's critique seems validated by the state of education today. If you agree with Hill, what do you think we can do about it? One thing we should do is seek out those teachers in schools who encourage independent thought in their students and applaud them for their courage. Family, it is sauce time. I'm going to take a quick dip and y'all going to get this sauce and we'll be right back.
Woke up today and I had to make up the bed, right? I'm in an Airbnb. I didn't have to make up the bed. I don't live here. But I wanted to be productive. I wanted to wake up on the roll because once I get one thing, I get a dopamine trigger. A reward pleasure sends it to my brain and tells me I got something done. Guess what? I want more of that pleasure in my life. So now I'm on to the next task, right? And I'm gonna tell you this. Another secret to some of the most dangerous, successful minds in the world is that they read all the time. My reading mind is a more focused mind. I have access to more of my brain. My neural connections are working and firing up there, right? I'm always categorizing and thinking about, okay, what do I need to get done? Reading actually makes me more responsible. You understand me? Because as I'm reading is a task completion, left to right brain power. You're utilizing different hemispheres of your brain. Visual, right? And then you have your pattern connection as you're reading and you're learning. So now your brain is being stimulated at the same time. So people who read are more productive because their brain has to be productive. Reading is a process of production, right? So make sure you got one of them dangerous reading minds and make sure you study project management and time management. Both of these categories will allow you to be way more effective in your everyday life. I woke up today and I had to make a move.
We are definitely back. That was deep stuff. I think education, the school system is the way Napoleon Hill wrote it. That's just something that I seen, you know what I mean? When I was a kid, I was more happier, got older, and then things changed. But we're going to jump right in and finish the rest of this right now. Question. I was under the impression that the purpose of all schooling was to help children to think. Answer. That may be the purpose of schooling, but the system in most of the schools of the world does not carry out the purpose. School children are taught not to develop and use their own minds, but to adopt and use the thoughts of others. This sort of schooling destroys the capacity for independent thought, except in a few rare cases where children rely so independently upon their own willpower that they refuse to allow others to do their thinking. Accurate thought is the business of my opposition, not mine. Accurate thought is the business of my opposition, not mine. The devil says. What relationship, if anything, has your opposition with the homes, the churches, and the schools? Your reply to this question should be interesting. Answer. Here is where I make use of some more of my clever tricks. I cause it to appear that everything done by the parents, the school teachers, and the religious instructors is being done by my opposition. This diverts attention from me while I manipulate the minds of the young. When religious instructors try to teach children the virtues of my opposition, they generally do so by frightening them with my name. That is all I ask of them. I kindle the flame of fear into proportions which destroy the child's power to think accurately. In the public schools, the teachers further my cause by keeping the children so busy cramming non-essential information into their minds, they have no opportunity to think accurately or to analyze correctly the things their instructors teach them. Question. Do you claim for your cause all those who are bound by the habit of drifting? Answer. No, drifting is only one of my tricks through which I take over the power of independent thought. Before a drifter becomes my permanent property, I must lead him on and ensnare him with another trick. I will tell you about this other trick after I finish describing my methods of converting people into drifters. Do you mean you have a method by which you can cause people to drift so far away from self-determination that they can never save themselves? Yes, a definite method. And it is so effective it never fails. Do I understand you to claim your method is so powerful your opposition cannot reclaim those whom you have permanently ensnared through drifting? I claim just that. Do you think I would control so many people if my opposition could prevent me? Nothing can stop me from controlling people except people themselves. Nothing can stop me except the power of accurate thought. People who think accurately do not drift on any subject. They recognize the power of their own minds. Moreover, they take over that power and yield it to no person or influence. Go ahead and tell me more of the methods by which you cause people to drift to hell with you. A. I cause people to drift on every subject through which I can control independent thought and action. Take the subject of health, for example. I cause most people to eat too much food and the wrong sort of food. This leads to indigestion and destroys the power of accurate thought. If the public schools and the churches taught children more about proper eating, they would do my cause irreparable damage. Marriage, I cause men and women to drift into marriage without plan or purpose designed to convert the relationship into harmony. Here is one of my most effective methods of converting people into the habit of drifting. I cause married people to bicker and nag one another over money matters. I cause them to quarrel over the bringing up of their children. I engage them in unpleasant controversies over their intimate relationships and in disagreements over friends and social activities. I keep them so busy finding fault with one another that they never have time to do anything else long enough to break the habit of drifting. Occupation. I teach people to become drifters by causing them to drift out of school into the first job they can find with no definite aim or purpose except to make a living. Through this trick, I keep millions of people in fear of poverty all their lives. Through this fear, I lead them slowly but surely onward until they reach the point beyond which no individual ever has broken the drifting habit. Savings. I cause people to spend freely and to save sparingly, or not at all, until I take complete control of them through their fear of poverty. Environment. I cause people to drift into inharmonious and unpleasant environments in the home, in their places of occupation, in their relationships with relatives and acquaintances, and to remain there until I claim them through the habit of drifting. Dominating thoughts. I cause people to drift into the habits of thinking negative thoughts. This leads to negative acts and involves people in controversies and fills their minds with fears. thus paving the way for me to enter and control their mind. When I move in, I do so by appealing to people through negative thoughts, which they believe to be their own. I plant the seeds of negative thoughts in the minds of people through the pulpit, the newspapers, the moving pictures, the radio, and all other popular methods of appeal to the mind. I cause people to allow me to do their thinking for them because they are too lazy, too indifferent to think for themselves. Question: I conclude from what you say that drifting and procrastination are the same. Is that true? Yes, that is correct. Any habit which causes one to procrastinate, to put off reaching a definite decision, leads to the habit of drifting. Family, we're gonna leave y'all there, right? And y'all know what this show is about. It's about the books. This is one amazing book. I recommend everybody get it. And I'm about to get back to my day. So you already know I see y'all tonight at the night show. Read, remember, repeat.